Well, like it or not, winter is just around the corner, and today it's my review of the Weston store heated gloves. Now, as you can see, there's two different options available. Not only will I show you the two options here today, I'm also going to put both of these pairs to the test. Now, I've had experience and good success with Weston store's heated products in years past, so I'm anxious to put these new gloves to the test. One of my goals for today is to give you enough information to decide which one of these pair of gloves would be right for you. This one is considered a glove liner, and this one is considered a full-size insulated glove. Now, Weston store has sent me both options of gloves, and I hope to give you enough information to decide which one is right for you. Now, they have a lot of similarities between these two, and there are some differences, and that's what I'm going to get into right now. So some of the similarities are that both gloves come nicely packaged straight from Weston store's website. They also include the battery packs. Now, the glove liners have a slightly smaller battery than the full-size heated gloves, but either set of gloves will include two batteries. Each of the pair of gloves also include a charging cord that will allow you to charge both batteries at the same time. The heated gloves come with a USB type charger, while the glove liners come with a charger that plugs into a wall outlet. The last similarity that I'll talk about is the power button. They each have a power button that allows you to turn on the heating, and they also have three heat settings: a high heat, medium heat, and low heat setting. So that's similar on both of the pair of gloves. Now let's talk about some of the differences between these two styles of gloves. Now, first difference and the most obvious is the size of the glove, and I don't mean the size of your hand, but as you can see, the glove liner is a lot smaller and allows more dexterity with your fingers. The insulated gloves are a lot larger and have more insulation, obviously, to help retain that heat. Now, the glove liners, because they are a lot thinner, are ultimately made that you can layer it with an existing pair of gloves that you already own. Another difference that I already mentioned is the size of the battery pack. Because these glove liners are a lot thinner pair of gloves, they have a slightly smaller battery pack that does not have as much capacity. Another difference you'll notice is on the power buttons. The glove liners actually gives you a battery indicator status. Not only will it tell you what heat level you have it on by the color light that's on it, it also gives a battery life status right on the power button. The full-size heated gloves just simply has a power button with those three heat settings available, but it gives no indication of how your battery life is. Now, another major difference between these two pair of gloves, they both are advertised as being water resistant. In my testing, when I applied water directly to these pair of gloves, the glove liners were not water resistant. In fact, they didn't feel like they resisted the water whatsoever. You were instantly wet to the fingers. The full-size heated gloves, on the other hand, did well in my water test. When I put water directly on the full-size heated gloves, my hands stayed toasty warm and nice and dry. Now, these gloves do not look new anymore, and that's because I've been using both of these pair of gloves both in my outdoor activities, my hunting, and here on the farm. Now, I've not only been using these gloves, but I also put them to a little bit of a test. I wanted to put them on the hottest setting available and do a duration test to see how long these gloves will heat on the highest setting. Now, remember, the glove liners have a slightly smaller capacity battery, so I fully expect that to not last quite as long as the full-size heated gloves. I set up a time lapse where I put both pair of gloves with their fully charged batteries in front of a clock. I then took an indoor-outdoor thermometer and I put the probe inside one of the heated pair of gloves. That should be able to track the temperature throughout the test. The glove liners were the first to quit heating, as I expected, but they lasted nearly 2 hours and 25 minutes. The full-size heated glove with its larger capacity battery reached a maximum temperature of over 113 degrees, and in my test lasted over 3 hours and 20 minutes on its highest heat setting. Well, it's now time for my final thoughts. I've been thoroughly enjoying both of these pair of gloves, and really it comes down to personal preference and what you will be using these gloves for. I have found these full-size heated gloves to be better in windy conditions because it just has overall more insulation. Now obviously these glove liners are great, especially if you're going to layer it with another pair of gloves. And in fact, one of my favorite cold weather gloves is a mitten type glove where I can unfold and still have use of my fingers. I found these glove liners to work perfectly with that style of glove, especially if your activities include needing a lot of dexterity in your fingers. Now something I have not mentioned, but both pair of gloves do have touch sensitive fingers for your index finger that you can use your cell phone while wearing the gloves. Some of you might find that important. I like the fact that the full-size gloves have that larger capacity battery and has longer run times, but I also like the fact that the glove liners gives you that battery indicator. So there's give and take, and it really comes down to personal preference and how you're going to plan to use these gloves. Now, are there any negatives or cons or things that I would change if I could? One thing that comes to mind is the full-size heated gloves has the battery pack right on the outside of your wrist or on the outside of your arm, while the glove liners have the battery pack on the inside of your wrist. That is a negative in my mind. I simply don't like the feel of having that battery right here in your wrist. Ultimately, that battery is much smaller than the full-size battery on this pair of gloves, so it doesn't stick out too bad, but I would prefer if they would have placed that battery on the outside, just like it is with the full-size heated gloves. So that's one little negative that comes to mind with these glove liners. Last con I'll talk about it. If you need a water-resistant glove, the full-size heated gloves are definitely for you. The glove liners immediately soaked up any type of moisture, especially in my use and testing. Otherwise, both gloves have held up great. I've had no quality issues. I've had no tears or abrasions, and I have been putting these gloves to the test. So I'm going to be placing links down in the description. They are affiliate links, so if you choose to purchase either type of glove, I do receive a small commission, and it helps me continue to bring reviews just like this. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Please put them down in the comment section. I do my best to try and get back to each and every one of you. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.